Hi.
Hi.
So I'm Chi-Chi,
I'm Chantel.
and we're here to talk about The Rose Code by Kate Quinn.
Yes.
Why am I singing?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the Rose Code. It's about three women, and they form a relationship and a bond, and without that bond and that friendship,
There's a thing on my face.
no, you're just looking at me like,
Okay, sorry. I will look at you.
So without that bond and that relationship, they wouldn't have been able to, have their triumphs and defeats, which really, these three women, they work together not only to break code, but to help win the war and then really save Britain as a whole. That's, I think, the summary of the book, because we were just talking about it, that there really is no point or summary or plot, to this book. It is literally just about these three women, their individual lives, that they come together, and then at the end, Kate Quinn just throws an ending together.
Right.
Right. So that's my summary. There's three ladies who have a relationship in the word-breaking code. There.
Yeah.
One sentence.
Yeah. It's a big book. And I think that it could have been condensed to maybe 300 pages as opposed to 600.
Yeah.
And it would have been hard hitting, a lot more effective. So I guess I'm just giving my review now.
Okay.
Maybe,
Star rating?
yeah. Okay, fine.
You're not gonna hurt my feelings.
No, I'm still thinking it's not a 3. It's not a 3, and it's not 3.5 either. It's a 4. It's a 4 that I wish that had the potential to be more for me. Okay. Earlier on in the book, I really enjoyed this. When I sat through extensive periods of time reading the book, I appreciated the level of depth. So because the story was so richly crafted, I was I was immersed in it. And I felt that long periods of reading enabled that level of being immersed. But towards the ending,
Immersion?
Pardon?
Sorry, go ahead.
Towards the ending, I just became less and less enjoyable for me. And it's just now that I'm realizing that the writing is becoming sort of became sloppy and sloppier towards the ending. Things, Quinn perhaps is trying to tie up some loose ends and put things together. First of all, I felt that what worked earlier on in the book, which was the slow moving pace, the snail's pace, did not work in the latter half of the book. Just because things felt almost that there were details that were thrown in there that I really didn't need, little bits of information, and then just really odd interaction. Dill's, one of the characters' wife, is just way too open and just amenable to just her character is not really richly developed, which is kind of surprising given that for the first half of this book, even more than half, I've been saying 60, the characters seem even the most marginal characters really well thought out, pulls you in. So yeah, I felt that the strongest part of the book would have been the first 60%. And if it were just that first 60%, which is why I said condense it down to 300 pages, I probably would have given this book a 4.8. Honestly, I found it so beautiful.
Yeah.
And even though it moves so slowly, nothing really happens. So it's just looking for that human interaction, that human story, that real story that was that. Thank you. Make fun of me and my hand gestures. I was looking
Love it.
for that very poignant story that resonates with the human, everyday human interactions and feelings, and I felt like I got that for most of the book, but then it just really fell flat the rest of it.
Yeah. I agree with you. So this is your first Katie Quinn book that you read, right? Or Kate? I always call her Katie. I don't know why, but so I didn't read this book. I listened to it. I've listened to other of her books, Diamond Eye and The Alice Network, and those were, in my opinion, outstanding. I rated The Alice Network within my top 5, maybe top 10 of all time. So when I was debating between this and The Huntress, and now I'm kind of regretting. Anyways, I thought this was going to be really good just because of the, like, what I had been coming from. So going off of that, I had very high expectations for this book. And it was quite a bit longer than the other two. So I was hoping, like, okay, great. Like, I get more of this, amazing writing. And, I think she's done a great job putting things together in the past. My rating. So again, I listened to it. I think that this might be a hard book to read. Maybe not. I don't know. But I'm also going to give it a 4.
What do you mean hard? Hard in what way?
Hard because it was so slow.
Okay, got it.
Right? Like,
just like
no.
Not the content.
No, not the content. Her writing is beautiful. I love it. Descriptive. Like, to me, each sentence is a beautiful picture. The way that she writes, listening to it is fantastic. I do really like it. I just didn't think that there was no story. It was just three ladies who were, going, they had their own separate lives because of the war. They all met up and they were deciphering code, which in itself is really cool to be doing that as women in the war, and to have that power and that intelligence to be assigned such a task. Really, really cool. But there was like that. I just kept waiting for something to happen, and yes, like, little things happen here. Spoiler alert. People die and things. There's deception. Mab's husband and child die. And that was a big deal. But in the grand scheme of other books that we've read, or even other Kate Quinn, but like, that's not, it's just like a little drop, right?
Yeah.
A drop in the sand. I was expecting it to be more than what it was. Do I still like it? Yes. Would I read it again? No. Does it deter me from reading Kate Quinn again? No. Okay, yeah, I do agree with you that the end is just kind of I wouldn't say, I don't agree with that it was sloppy. It felt like rushed. Like, she just ran out of space, even though she had lots of space throughout the book to do it, to just jam everything towards this, like, epic, or what she thought would be an epic ending that tied it all together. Yeah, I do agree that she could have made it shorter with a little more impacts, ups and downs, right, throughout the book.
Yeah. I mean, yes. I actually don't, like, I think I might disagree that there isn't a plot. I feel like I know. I'm just thinking about it now. Chantal, you can't see, but Chantal just gave me the look like, you agreed with me.
I know. We had this discussion before we started the podcast. It's like, yeah, I agree with you. And now, which is fine. I know it doesn't matter if you disagree. It's just more so like, I disagree that you disagree with me.
So I think that like, because it's almost like a dual narrative structure, but it's not 2. It's like kind of 4, because you get the perspectives of Mab, Osla, and Beth.
Yes.
And also,
who else? Only 3.
No, you get the perspective in the past of these 3 women, and then you get the perspectives in the future of these 3 women. So not 4, but 6. There's like 6.
I guess.
Like, there are 2 timelines, and the 2 timelines tell 2 different stories.
Yeah, no, the past and the present,
and then they merge, and then they they try to tie up the conclusion. So the present, from the start, is like, it does establish like a plot, which is there's a traitor in the midst of this organization and we have to find it. And then the past is establishing how the relationship between the women, like occurred, how they got together and how it evolved, and then how they broke apart towards the end of the relationship, or like the end of, yeah. But like, I think that it's just, so there's something about it that just falls apart for me. There's something, I don't know, it's something like, it's hard to put my finger on. It's just like, it's definitely not plot heavy. It's definitely character heavy. The focus of the book, in like showing how the relationship and just really getting you into the heads of these characters. So at various points, you really feel like you fall in love with the characters. The characters are very rich,
which I want
and complex. Yeah, I really like they're like, again, the first 60% of the book. I think I texted you several times like, I love this person or this person. I just love all these characters. But like,
good job with that. You really almost became friends with them.
Yeah,
by getting to know them so well.
Yeah, but like, just the end of it, I don't know. And like, the end is all driving to this one point of catching the traitor, but something about it just doesn't feel strong enough. Like, it doesn't, I think because maybe the end is trying to finally get to the plot. That's why it feels like
finally there's no get to the plot.
Well, that's why it feels like there's no plot, but there is a plot. She does establish it, but she focuses. It moves so slowly. It moves so slowly that it almost feels like there isn't a plot.
Yeah.
It moves so slowly, like it's so drawn out. And I disagree that that it's rushed. The ending is rushed. I feel like the ending is drawn out. She is trying to, tie this all up in way more words than necessary. Like, she almost is like, it feels like she doesn't know how to conclude the book.
And you don't think that's rushing?
No.
Because she didn't, she just kind of tied it all together and was just like, well, I'm B. Like, I'll just do this, and then I'll just do this, and I think he can do this, and maybe they'll do that. Like, just kind of just
we get like with chapters in a car. Chapters. Several chapters of Mab and Osla in a car. And I'm like, really? I think that this could have been done a lot quicker.
Do you think that she was just trying to accomplish more than she could?
I think she set out to write a big book.
Yeah.
Like, I think she set out to write a big book, and she could have just written a shorter book, and it would have been...
I wonder if this is one of her longer books. I need to look that up.
Yeah.
You know what I do want to ask you, though? Since we are, like, really the highlights of this book for me were the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite character and why?
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. It's hard for me to answer that question.
I don't think it's hard.
Really?
Yes, because I already know your answer.
Well, tell me what's my answer.
I don't know the why, but I know that Beth is your favorite character.
I don't know. I love Beth because she's autistic. I like that she's neurodiverse. I love how complex. Oh God, anytime, you know from the book that we're reading right now, that anytime that like a neurodiverse character is given that voice for me, right? It's just like,
what book are we reading right now that there's?
You didn't get my voice note? I must have deleted it. Oh, I deleted it.
You deleted a bunch.
That's so funny. I know. I said that much that I deleted it. So, Luca's clearly autistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just love when we get the perspective of a neurodiverse character, and it's a very complex, well thought out, you kind of get the idea that the author herself either like is writing from experience or knows somebody, or just like really intimately understands neurodiversity and autism. And I love that. I love that. But I also really like Osla. I really like Mab.
Okay, I only asked you for one though. You have to pick one. You like. I said who, not all three of them. There's only three characters.
Yeah, in a way, it kind of feels like they're my best friends, you know?
Right?
Like,
yeah.
they kind of do. Like, I think that's the redeeming quality of this book. You know? Like, I don't know. Who's your favorite Mab?
Mab.
Yeah.
Because she's most like me and I love myself, you know?
Yeah. I know.
No, I do like her because she kind of just has all of these personalities. Like she feels, she has lots of emotions, but she gets angry, she's real, she tells it how it is.
Mm-hmm.
She does not beat around the bush.
Right.
I could just picture her as this, I don't know, yeah, I guess I can just picture her as me.
Right.
Like, I know that sounds really odd, but I really enjoyed her character. I thought that she went through such a devastating hardship, and she still had the power to, at the end of the day, like forgive her friends and move on. And I think that takes a lot. I just think that her character, I don't mean like her character in the book, I mean like her character as in her strengths, her weaknesses, her morality, things that she did, like all of it, like that kind of definition of a character. It was really powerful. I really liked that. And her relationship with Harry was just great. Not Harry. Yes, no.
Not Harry.
Harry. Oh my gosh. Francis. Yeah. Francis, sorry.
Actually, if we're talking about character, I really like Osla's. Not character, but strength of a person's character. I really like Osla's because I feel like Osla never compromises her ethics.
Yeah, that's true.
Like she's not
flush.
She's not flush. She thinks very clearly about what she does. Mm-hmm. Even when they're sort of like selling out Beth. Yeah. Mab did it out of anger.
Oh yeah.
But Osla was like, this doesn't feel right, and you really get it. Like, she was always like, and because of that, she was so determined to go to Beth. Right. And it's because of, like, I love that. I love that about Osla's character. I love that even though she's desperate to get married, and she could have saved her shitty fiance Giles, she still doesn't compromise her ethics.
No, she doesn't.
No. And I also love that she recognizes the irony in Beth's like determination to lock up Giles, really like penalize Giles for betraying his country, mm-hmm. despite the fact that her country betrayed her. Yeah. Right? Despite the fact that England mm-hmm. betrayed Beth.
So I think even just us discussing these characters and these kind of more layered complexities of the book really does kind of give Kate Quinn some extra points, right? Because she really did build a very good story, whether there's a plot or not, mm-hmm. in my opinion. It just, like, the complexity of the characters, their relationship to the state, their devotion to Britain, everything. And even the fact that you identified Beth as autistic. I didn't see that until you really pointed it out. Again, you have a little more knowledge than I do. Not a little bit, you have a lot more knowledge than I do. But then even how, you brought up Osla's ethics. Again, I never thought of it like that. I just recognized that, but you're bringing up that point. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Mab has more of we could definitely talk about it more, but I think the fact that Kate did this so perfectly and effortlessly. Thank you. She did it so well, mm-hmm. That we're having a discussion about these people as if they were real. if they were our friends, as if they have some kind of like, they're just going to come and walk through the door.
Live on the page.
Right? They really do come alive on the pages more than any book that I've read in a long time. Yes, you get these, we have descriptive characters in a lot of books, or, but we kind of have to make up part of it. I don't know if you have that too. Like even with, The Nightingale, which I thought was an outstanding book, there were parts of it where I'm like, I kind of am making up this person. I don't know every single aspect of this person.
Oh,
right?
No.
Versus,
Like I know what Osla looks like.
Exactly.
Like her dimples.
I
can like everything. I know exactly what Beth looks like. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not only what she
No, you're
looks
totally
like,
right.
you know how she acts, her behavior.
No, Osla's definitely my best friend.
Their idiosyncrasies.
Absolutely.
Any like their mental ailments, their intelligence. Everything.
Yes.
Right?
The one
Minus
thing
their like SID numbers. You don't know that, right?
Well, the one thing that didn't come out clear for me was the work. Like I just couldn't make sense of the telex machines and what they were actually decoding.
Right. I do actually agree with you on that. I felt and maybe, okay, so maybe that is a lack of research on Kate's part.
I doubt that
it's a lack of available research. Maybe there's not a lot of it.
I think it might be hard to describe it.
Maybe the only reason I kind of knew what she was talking about was because I had saw the movie with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, okay.
The what's that called? It's called
The Enigma,
because it's about the Enigma machine.
Right. Okay.
That's the only reason I knew what they were talking about and could visualize it, because I've seen the movie.
Like I vaguely can visualize, you've seen images and whatever here and there.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's
really
a good point.
It got too detailed. I think she got too detailed. This is where, again, the details that don't need to be there because they're just really confusing. All of the decoding stuff and like what are they feeding into what? Like I don't think I needed to know that much detail. And
but I think that if it would have been left out for those who have maybe read Kate Quinn before or really like that, might have been missing. Maybe if it wasn't there, you and I would be having this opposite conversation saying like, well, what were they doing with that paper? Where was it going? I don't understand, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know, right? Because everything else is so descriptive. Because we're doing that with the ending, right? We're saying that everything is so descriptive, and yet here's this flopped ending.
The ending is too descriptive.
I don't know.
It's too drawn out. It's way too descriptive.
So I don't necessarily agree.
Cut it down.
I agree with that.
Okay.
When I meant rushed, I mean like we just snapped our fingers and then all of a sudden we're at this like major turning point. Like finally 500 pages in, this is what you're going to do?
Much. First, Mab and Osla go to the sanatorium to talk to Beth, and then they break her out, and then they drive, and I can literally picture this long drive all the way to, I think, London.
I think so.
Okay. And then they go to Dilly Knox's widow's home, where she just willingly opens the door to these strangers, gets them in, and then now I can picture Beth like over the rose code, trying to crack the rose code for several chapters. Yeah. Like for real. And this is not even like, we're still like page 500. It's like, you get to the point.
So yeah, I kind of disagree. Like I wouldn't have wanted her to just kind of conclude the story without continuing the same descriptive narrative and writing style that she had done throughout the whole book. For me, she could have cut a lot more in the middle out. Mm-hmm. But again, I listened to it, so I didn't have that like.
You know what's really funny?
No, it was a nice. It wasn't exhilarating to listen to it, but it was a nice read, and I really don't know how to explain that I felt the ending was rushed, only in that because everything. Okay, so what I mean that I understand now. So the book was so slow that the ending was fast. So that like we have this super long drawn out book, and then the ending, the conclusion, the climax of this book is the last 100 pages. Like,
and I felt like it was anticlimactic.
Yeah, I
okay, so like I would have just preferred that same quiet sort of ambiance that we get for the majority of the book at the end, as opposed to, yes, more does happen at the end. But like, you know what I just thought of right now that makes me kind of smile is what you didn't like about the Nightingale's conclusion. I didn't like. I liked. So you didn't like that. You had said that the Nightingale's conclusion felt abrupt. You know that.
It isn't.
Yes, you did.
Not the conclusion, just I said the transition.
Okay, transition.
But I never saw. I loved the ending.
So I liked.
Was perfect, Chi-Chi.
Okay. So right, you did say that, but like I liked how, you know, I don't need to know every step that this character took to arrive to his home. I really don't need to know that much details, that level of detail. Sorry. And I just feel like Kate Quinn provides that level of detailing in this book.
In this book,
it's extensive.
Yeah, it is. And maybe that's what she was trying to do.
I just felt like at the end, it didn't need to be that extensive.
I disagree.
Like, hello, conclude, please.
Yeah, I would have been pissed.
Get to the point.
I would have been pissed if they're just like, okay, we found Giles, and
you liked the ending.
I liked it. That was
and I liked
the
60%,
and I did not.
Okay.
Well, because something actually happened, right? Like when Mab, whatever, Mabel's her actual name, but anyways, that's she changed it to Mab. When Mab, husband and daughter dies, I was like, finally, something happened in this book. Right? I was still sad for her, but oh my, yes, finally, this book is picking up. That was my initial thought, right? Which is why I like The Nightingale so much, because to me, it was like beautiful writing. There was love story. There was the highs, the lows, the drama, the violence. Like, for me, it hit every single mark of what I would love to read, right? I'm not knocking the book. I'm just I wanted more to happen. You find the book confusing, or that the reviews are so good?
Yeah, the reviews are so good. What am I missing?
Maybe it's just you.
Sometimes it makes me wonder when authors, you know, are able to consistently receive, you know, really, really good ratings, if they've just established that audience that just won't give their books 5 stars.
That's not true.
It just makes me wonder, you know?
No, I don't know. Maybe we should add one more of her books on our list. So
I'm very surprised.
Maybe the missing link is you. I'm just joking.
Okay, well, do you have any lasting words?
No, I don't have any last words. I still, again, I did like the book. I don't have anything bad to say. I really enjoyed it. I just wish it was shorter. More action happened, but that's not necessarily something bad, right? That's just what I was wanting, because that's what I had come from.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, bye.
Bye.